Welcome back, everyone. It's the Aces NFL show powered by PointsBet. We are joined by NFL royalty Aaron Sipos in the building. Jeez, he looks good in that jersey. I might need one of them because I've got my choice of two. I got the choice of two. They covered the spread plus 3.5. Sip. The Ravens just gave it to the Vikings.
He gave me 7 and still got over the line.
After trailing by 7 at the start of the game.
Yeah.
Mate, how are you?
Early. Going well, mate. How you going?
Very
good. Bit of a rough morning?
Had a rough day. Yeah.
Rough week?
I've gone, I said, what I say to you, I said, mate, it's good to be home. I'm going to get back into my fitness routine. And I've gone to a Bucks party and torn the hamstring off the bone, it feels like. I can't even walk. So, and then I walked in today and I've headbutted a power tool. My head's about to cut open. I thought we're going to get back into it. So, yeah, great start. Probably you know what? It sums up the last week of NFL. Just upsets everywhere. Yeah. Just things going wrong everywhere.
Chaos.
James Cook, he can, not him, his teammates. I mean, Josh Allen,
the Bills can just get stuffed.
When does he fumble when he goes for a run?
I don't know.
There's plenty to talk about. There's something that really just making my blood boil, and it comes down to fantasy. Anyone out? Is there anyone else out there that owns Walker and Bijan Robinson like me? Because I have had enough of watching the Seattle Seahawks, who I absolutely love. I reckon they might be my second team. Yeah. And Charbonnet's not on the field, and I go, finally. And then in comes Helani. I said, who the fuck's Helani? What has Walker got to do to get a touchdown, Sip? I can't believe it.
It's like he's not allowed to go past the end zone or something happens to him. It's like it's an allergic reaction or something like that. I don't know. I said this a month ago. It pisses me off so much. I'm over it. I just can't.
They were up by
There's no point talking about it anymore. If it hasn't happened by week 11, it's not happening for the rest of the year.
I read an article they're going to ramp him up. So I thought, beautiful. This is the week.
From the back behind, from the back 50. Just give
and
him
even
more.
that, he only just gets his 60 or 70 a week.
But if he adds a touchdown to that every time, you're happy days, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's 13, 14 points on fantasy, and it's all right. That's a good day's work, but not getting in the end zone, and he's working his tail off, and it's just so frustrating.
They were up by like 30-something.
Yeah, they were.
Mate, we'll talk about them later, but I thought, if you're going to go against the rules of, he's not allowed to run it in, well, this is the day he'll run it in just to make him feel good. He hasn't had a touchdown since week 3.
I know. I agree with that. Just give him a chance to get over the freaking end zone.
And then Bijan Robinson's the same thing. LG, he's had 2
tutties.
And I woke up for that game. I watched the first half.
He fumbled last week. You think, that's all right. Just give it to your main man and let him take control. It's just tiring stuff, to be honest. Tiring. Same with that Atlanta offense in general. They are shit at the moment.
Well, they put up a few points though, but yeah. And by the way, we had I should read out the great man's name. Someone messaged me. Actually, I can't see it because I'm on the pod, but I should have screenshot it. But anyway, he texted me and wrote Atlanta spread, like eye face, because they covered it.
Yeah.
Because in overtime, you don't kick the pat.
Yeah, that's right.
So it was 6.5.
Yeah.
And it went to the draw. Yeah. And then we said, I reckon you can take the line because I reckon Atlanta will be competitive. But it's one of those ones that we're not sure. And mate, JT's ran it in. Game over. They win by 6. Can you imagine?
That's a bad beat if I've ever seen it.
You want to see the baddest beat of all time? Some bloke on the internet had the Jags plus 1.5. Plus 1.5.
No.
If you watch the game at the end, they're down by 1.
They are.
He's throwing the pick 6 to the big boy on the last play. He's lost. Mate, can you imagine that's your last leg of your multi on the PointsBet app?
Oh, that would be brutal.
Oh, goodness me.
That would sum up my year, though.
I mean, there were some big upsets. I couldn't believe this. And you know what? Massive for me. I need Atlanta to come top 2 in a future bet that we put up for the Aces in the division. And Panthers playing the Saints. I went, this is all over. The Saints have beaten the Panthers.
Seriously.
The Panthers beat Green Bay. And then Green Bay's rolling out, playing absolute mud against the Eagles. I can't predict what's going on at the moment. It's never been closer. Yeah. And, we're going to talk about this week's games and the Jets playing the Patriots. But the way the form's going, it says the Jets are a chance, which, they're just absolutely no chance on paper. But this is what's going on. Any team can just beat any team on their day.
Thursday night footy too has been wild all year. I mean, we almost saw an upset last week. I mean, how bad was that game? 10-7. Broncos should have just absolutely nailed that one. And it's just a different ball game right now. So few upsets, as you said, some cracking games again. Somehow the Jets win 27-20 and scored 2 tutties from special teams players. Otherwise, their offense is horrendous.
What Fields didn't even throw for 60 yards.
It's just incredible. How did you got to go to the locker room afterwards for the Browns and go, what the fuck just happened?
Imagine Myles Garrett.
Just Myles Garrett again throwing helmets around. Someone's head's going to be sideways and it's just going to be nuts. But big week 10. It was incredible to watch. Some big scoring games. We had some really good stuff happening for us. So, it was incredible to watch.
We're seeing them like beach balls, I thought. The Rams was belt to ass, as I predicted. You know what? Mac Jones is there's a few dramas at quarterback because he's playing at a high level. Yeah. But the Rams Stafford and the way he's moving that ball, they are hard.
Right up there in MVP right now.
Yeah, and then the Bills, that was absolutely disgraceful, mainly because of their offense. Their defense naturally leaks, I feel like. That's why it's always good to watch the Bills. Yeah. But the Dolphins, as me and you always talk about, which, you know what, we need to stop talking about, they've turned that around. That defense has really picked it up. Even when I watched them live against the Ravens, they got themselves into the red zone about 4 times and they went for it twice. Yep. And they didn't get it, and they kicked 2 field goals. But if they score off all, say 3 of them, that game comes down to a kick or 2. So, it's, when I say a kick or 2, it could have been 3-6, could have been a tutty, but it would have been a tight game. And then Detroit absolutely did what we said, smack them.
Yep.
Dan Campbell took over play calling, probably cost me. I needed Amon Ra for 80 receiving yards. He didn't get a catch. Him and Diggs didn't get a catch in the second half. Yeah, well, maybe Amon got 1, but yeah, it was all about Williams.
It was.
And the MVP race is well and truly on. Let's talk about the MVP race for a second. Where do you think PointsBet has Jonathan Taylor in the market right now?
Right now?
Yeah, what rank? And I'll give you the odds.
He's probably 3 or 4, I'd say. He'd have to be right up there now.
He's sitting 3rd at 550.
Yeah.
Stafford and Drake May tied for 375, and then Mahomes 650, Josh Allen 10, Darnold 13, and Lamar Jackson 31.
Yep.
What else does Jonathan Taylor have to do to win this award? Even if he doesn't double his production he started the season with,
I don't know. He should be the clear favourite.
Because it's a season where. We'll find out soon. If the Rams get beat by Darnold, Darnold's season hasn't been as impressive as May's, but then Jonathan Taylor does another 200 and a tud. It's like his numbers are off the charts.
Off the charts. 15 touchdowns, I think, right now. He scored 3 touchdowns or more multiple times. I think he's probably done it 4 times already this year.
I'll get it up.
It's absurd numbers right now. I argued last year that Saquon Barkley should have been right up there and winning it last year, and Taylor's numbers are even more impressive this year. If he doesn't win it, then a running back will never win the award. It's as simple as that. It's a quarterback award, and that's all there is to it for the MVP. So I don't know what else he has to do right now, but I think he should be clear favourite. He should be number 1 by a mile.
He's had 3 touchdowns 4 times this season.
Yeah. I don't know what else he has. I don't know what else he can do. And not only is he scoring, his yards are off the chart, like 200 plus multiple times. He has just been unstoppable. So as I said, if he can't win it this year, then it's not a running back award. It's a quarterback award, and that's all there is to it. But it'd be really disappointing.
I tell you what's disappointing. Your man has been sacked. The bowling ball. Did we not say the bowling ball? I said he'd be sacked first, but he was second.
He was second, but we definitely predicted halfway through the year for sure. I'm very confident in saying that. It's a bit of a disappointment because, they've been pretty riddled with injuries, and Dart's been a new life, and you lose Scatterboo. The 1-2 punch had a little bit going on. Neighbours has been out. Like you've lost your 3 best players, arguably. What else do you expect them to do? And I get it. I get it that you're up by 10 multiple times throughout the year and you don't get the job done. So maybe that does play a part in it. But when you don't have your top end talent out there, what do you expect him to do? Maybe it's the defense. I don't know. When you've spent that much money on defense, that could be the reason. Why.
It's the game.
They're leaking.
They've blown 4 10-point
They're
leads.
leaking badly. So maybe that's the reason why. But I can't say I'm not surprised. So
he's had a fair bit of time there. Like I looked at how long they gave him a chance for, and it was a long time. Considering some coaches they get in and out. But
very true.
What it is it's set up for the next coach. I reckon the future's really bright. If you're a Giants fan, you've got a great quarterback. He needs to protect himself a little bit more. He's quite reckless, but he's special. Mm-hmm. And they're going to put some more weapons around him. I think their defense is really good. They just need to get right in the secondary. But you get a better coach. Like you get a coach like the Seattle Seahawks that can changes the dynamics and the way that that defense moves and give Dart the ball. He scores a lot of points.
Yeah, and he reads the game really, really well. If he's not seeing something that's open for him straight away, he will use his legs and go. And that's the modern day quarterback these days, and he does a really good job of it. And he's only going to get better the more time he spends in the league, and we'll see what happens going forward for the New York Football Giants.
Let's stay on Jonathan Taylor because if there's any Colts fans out there, then they may have had a little future bet on him for MVP at the start of the year. Guess what his odds were in preseason, Sid?
That is just...
You're probably looking at the sheet.
I honestly would have said that he was probably $60. I thought that he finished the year off incredibly well last year, probably would set him up nicely, and I would have said he's probably... I don't know, $61 to do it,
well,
to be honest.
PointsBet gave you 301 at the start of the year. After week 3, you still got 151. After 153 two tuds in week 8, you got 17s. Before week 10, he was 11, and now he's come in to 550. So, and even now, 550, that might be juice because it
scream MVP. I don't know what does though, based on those odds. That's absurd.
How's that? That's still saying that he probably won't win it.
That's unbelievable.
The fact that he's not 375.
Well, what's your MVP? What's your MVP race right now? Who are the clear standouts for you that is going to be challenging, you think?
Drake May is a clear standout with Stafford for me. They're the two, and then obviously JT, which is what the market reflects. And the reason I think Drake May will go on and win it is I think he's got the softest run home. And I think he's going to be able to do what he likes. And Stafford's numbers, the only way he can do it is if they don't have to win as many games, but he needs to have another 2 4 passing touchdowns, 0 interception games. So when you look at the data at the end of the year, you'll go, Drake May had an easy run and Stafford had a tough run, and beating the Seattle Seahawks this week is absolutely crucial to that award. Not that he's playing for that award, but I just think Drake May's got to run home. He's a young player. They might want to, for the future of the NFL, let's give it to the young fella. But I don't know, maybe the old boy deserves. How many Stafford won?
I don't think Stafford's won an MVP.
Well, maybe he deserves one.
So he's, he's obviously been a star in this competition for a very, very long time, and hard done by the Detroit. Well, not hard done by. Just went through some very tough phases for quite a talented quarterback, and then you're kind of seeing what he can do with a good defense and a good offense.
Stafford, you know what? Stafford, I'd like to see Stafford win it over Drake May purely because of what he does for the game and how exciting he is. And Drake May is so young, he's an exciting talent. But
I agree.
Stafford would be the one that I'd love to see.
It's very, very tight though. Stafford right now, 2,427 passing yards, 25 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. Drake May at the moment, 2,555 passing yards, 19 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. So
that 5 and 2 ratio though is
huge.
massive.
It's huge. So if you base it off that, then I would be leaning towards obviously Matthew Stafford. But again, JT is clearly in that conversation, and what he's been able to do is phenomenal. And they've got the bye this week, so they'll be on the relaxers, and he'll be freshening up for a big 6 weeks. So it's tight.
All right. Well, I think everyone's had enough of us talking about last week. Have you? What jersey do you want me to get, Sip? Because I think now that I've got 2, I can't go double or nothing.
You've got a couple here now, so you guess your world's your oyster.
I'm looking behind. I wouldn't mind maybe I should just get a Bijan Robinson. I would like one of them.
Yeah, you like Bijan. I do.
And maybe
know that.
maybe get me Halani. Get me Halani because
he
looks like he's a young superstar that's going to be running a lot of balls in.
Okay.
No, don't get me Halani. I'll get back to you about the second one. There's a few players that I love. All right, let's keep maybe a Jonathan Taylor. Yeah. All right. We've forgotten a few other things. Texans comeback was huge.
Jeez.
We spoke about that baddest beat of all time, the +1.5 to the Jags fan.
How do you lose that game as the Jags are? You're up 29 to 10.
What did I tell you?
I know.
You can't
it's
trust
absurd.
Trev.
Absolutely absurd.
Can't trust him.
I mean, just run the ball and waste time. You're up by that in the last quarter and you give that up, and against a backup quarterback as well. And your defense is meant to be okay, and they were. 3 turnovers. the game on their terms. You can't lose those ones. That's a bad one.
Bad beat. Bears, Caleb Williams playing at a high level.
They're going to get fanned out, though. I'll speak about it later, but I reckon they're going to get fanned out. I reckon they get lucky with a few injuries. Dart gets off injured. I don't think they win that game if Dart's staying on the field. So, but yeah, they've won 5 on the trot now, and that's all that really matters in the end.
And Browns, Jets, back-to-back special teams tuds for the Jets. Crazy work there. I mean, it would have been interesting to see what happens if that doesn't happen, just purely because Fields has not been able to get the arm going. Garrett Wilson, I think he hurt himself again.
Yeah, he's out.
So I mean, where do you throw the ball there? We know they got Adonai Mitchell. We'll talk about that game later. Right, let's just get to the 2-minute drill. We obviously have skipped over the puchy primetime games. They don't deserve a breath.
No.
They don't deserve one bit of breath.
We're moving on.
LaFleur, you're on the watch. I would like to see a head coach change if that offense doesn't get going in 2 weeks because you're calling the plays, your defense is stacked, and the fact that you're running an inside bloody zone rush, whatever the it's called, when the game's on the line, your clock's expiring, you got one timeout and you run. Just go back and throw it. I'll talk about it later. It pisses me off when they just run the ball too much. All right, here we go. 2-minute drill. Thanks to the aces that got involved. Ryan Clough, the MVP is between Stafford or Taylor. Sip, quick fire.
Add Mahomes.
Wow. Brady Egan, the Raiders suck and it hurts my soul.
100%.
Jack Anning, Seahawks are number 1 seed, offense and defense, cooking, special teams elite.
Well, yes, they are on fire right now and definitely challenging for that.
Jevy, 100K, the Chiefs are the best team in the NFL and they might not make the playoffs.
That is a genuine chance, but I think I would disagree. They'll definitely make it and give it a run for their money.
I don't think they're the best team in the NFL and I don't think they'll make it if Broncos and Chargers keep winning. Jed Millard, I'd rather see Jameis throw 4 picks than Wilson's horrendous brand of football. I'll go. I agree. I'd rather see him throw 17 picks.
Because I know you're going to get 4 tutties with the 4 picks. So I reckon it's okay.
In a high-scoring game.
I agree. I'm with you on that.
Riley Huxtable. Giants are winless right now if they didn't start playing Jackson Dart.
I would argue yes. Honestly, I think they'd be in a bit of trouble and they'd be 0-10 and I'd be right.
I hate shit canning players, but when Russ comes on, he looks like a shell of himself.
It's so disappointing.
Like wobble balls.
It's so disappointing.
What's going on?
I don't know. I just think some guys need to just call time and he's a legend. He's going to go down the Hall of Fame.
Well,
but
he might not after the way he's gone out.
He will, but it's just disappointing to finish that way.
His last 5 years has been so bad.
Yeah.
Tyler Hinbrain, is Trevor Lawrence going to go down as a bust? Quick fire, Sip.
No, he won't.
Jack Zapp, Miami will win 4 on the trot.
Don't know. I don't actually know who they're playing, but no, they won't.
We've got a big game this week, but they are favoured, I think.
They are.
Lord Westy, 2 to go. Ravens don't lose another game.
Very possible. Yep,
I don't think
they're back.
They can only lose 2. I've looked at their run. They've got an easy run.
They're back.
Richie Mathers, Trevor Lawrence is a backup.
No, he's not a backup, but he needs the lift.
He's not far off it, Sid. He's not far off it. Yeah, he's better than a backup. You'll know a backup because when you got money on and it comes out, you don't get nothing on it.
You will.
All you know is it's a turnover of downs. Backups are just killers. Start one, bench one, cut one. Here we go. The young pups. Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor. Who are you starting, benching, and cutting, Sip? Quick.
Jeez. I'm starting Taylor, I'm benching Gibbs, and I'm cutting Bijan.
Can you believe that? The older dogs, Saquon, CMC, or Derrick Henry. Start one, bench one, cut one.
I'm starting CMC, I'm benching Saquon, I'm cutting Henry.
Wow. So Bijan and Henry gone.
Well, it's a tight window there. There's standards here, mate, and that's all there is to it.
Let us know who you're starting, benching, and cutting in the comments.
You put me on the spot there.
Oh, that's a hard one. I think Morgs has put you under the spot. Righto, it's time to get to week 11. This is exciting. This is where we give you some news you might have forgotten about. But it's another big week of football. If you're playing fantasy football and you have Jonathan Taylor in your side, and you're not sitting as the 1 seed,
I know,
and you don't win the league, give it up. Like, stop playing. He's scoring 50 a week. If you are not sitting on top of the ladder and you have Jonathan Taylor on your side, you are the worst NFL fantasy manager of all time.
Oh, if you've somehow pulled off getting JSN as part of your group as well, then you definitely should give it up because that's absolutely absurd. I reckon one guy in my fantasy actually has Jonathan Taylor and he was dead last 2 weeks ago. Dead last.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He scores.
That's how badly he drafted, to be honest.
It's absurd. And JT in your home.
Absurd. It's absolutely absurd. And the 1 week, obviously, where he has been putchy, he beat me on the weekend, I reckon. But besides that, he's been awful.
I just wanted to put that out there.
That's great. I love that.
And with fantasy football heating up, there's a lot of things. A reminder, you've probably got trade deadlines.
Yeah, trade deadlines up this week. You've probably got 4 weeks before the playoffs start to hit off. So, there's not long to go. There's been some scrambling, particularly in our group. There was a bit of chat this morning.
Yeah, there was. A lot of players need a trade. Our league's so
I'm
even.
Desperate. I finally got the chocolates on the weekend, though, so that was
nice.
Still
on the hunt. Well done.
We'll
I see Guinea's been offline, no phones.
That's Jesus.
Jeez, he's
Can't
really
get hold of him. May as well have done it myself this year.
Yeah, here's some news heading into week 11. Jameis Winston is starting for the Giants. That is massive. We're going to get a game with the Giants where we'll talk about later on, but they are going to be playing the Packers. It's a bloody nightmare matchup.
That later.
But well done to see Winston back. We love him. He's one of the the funniest guys in the league, but we know that he slings the ball and can play at a high level as well. Harrison Jr. out, appendicitis. If you got him in fantasy, that's a nightmare. It says week to week, but I've had it. Lockie Whitfield had it, so mine was a bit different. When I was younger, it took me a while to get over it. Lockie Whitfield only missed one, played the AFL granny the next week.
Yeah, nuts.
So you're probably looking at 1, maybe 2, if it all goes well, but it can take some time being, in your abs and whatnot. And even when he comes back, he will not be right. So that's a big blow because I reckon he was just starting to heat up.
Yeah.
And they kind of only have 2 weapons on offense. And now that he's out, it could interfere a little bit with Trey McBride because they might be able to, double him up. Justin Tucker, 7-time Pro Bowl. His suspension's been lifted and he's good to go. So which team would you pick him up? If you're a team right now that needs a kicker, this bloke's lights out. Where are you going with him?
Green Bay.
That's what I would have thought. That bloke's quad looks sore. And the coach looks like they've got a few dramas. He goes, I don't talk to the kicker, which, by the way, turns me off big time. Like, do you reckon Dan Campbell's not talking to his player? Like,
That's a very bad thing to say for a head coach. I don't understand that. That's shit house.
I thought those days were done.
Point blank. I think that's really, really poor. So, we'll move on from that.
I reckon there's something personal going on there.
Oh, there has to be. There has to be. I think you need to be having a conversation with your kicker no matter what. So,
J.K. Dobbins considered IR. Just monitor it with the foot. He hasn't been put on it, but they said they were considering it. So his foot, if he plays this week, you wouldn't want to have him in fantasy and everything else because
and you're playing the Chiefs, so good luck anyway.
Yep. I want to remind you that teams undefeated on the road are the Patriots and the Seahawks, and they are both on the road this week. So there you go. Take that information with you if you want. A couple other ones. DT, Desi Watson, our man, the big boy. He's been released from the Bucs. We're going to keep an eye on the big boy. Hopefully he can continue because he is a monster. But they've given him a bit of a go and he couldn't get that weight down by the sound of it. But he's quite raw and young. He'll be back in the league. But just wanted to update everyone on our man, Desi Watson. Jair Alexander stepping away. He just got picked up by Philly and now he's stepping away and he get the knee and the mind right. Travis Hunter out for the year with the knee. And the last one, receiving yards. Listen to this. JSN, he's on track to get 2,000. He's got 1,041 receiving yards, Sip. He's got more than the Jets and the Browns wide receivers rooms combined. The Jets wide receiver room has 824 receiving yards and the Browns 721. How bad is that?
It speaks volumes.
But how ugly is that?
No, we've spoken about the Jets so many times, and that's just proof in the pudding right there. Boy, it's unbelievable.
That is unbelievable. That is ugly. Righto. Well, speaking of the Jets,
stats, love that.
I'm wearing their kit, and it goes to Thursday night football. You think prime time? We've had 3 stinkers in a row. Let's get a cracker. I've made a mistake. The Jets actually are on the road. Patriots are at home. Gillette Stadium. I don't know why I read that wrong. But anyway, the Patriots are hosting the Jets. And the Jets couldn't get 60 passing yards last week. Yeah. Will Justin Fields actually last the whole game? Will he get benched? Because I can't see this being an easy day at the office with this defense.
You'll be seeing Tyrod Taylor at some point, in my opinion. That's the way I see it.
Do we get a market up there where we go, Tyrod Taylor will enter and Fields will be...
I wouldn't mind seeing it, to be honest, because I reckon that's about to happen.
Why can't Fields get going, man? I actually don't think he's that bad.
I don't know. I understand maybe that it's Garrett Wilson maybe not being out on the park regularly enough for him, but I'm not too sure. I just think that he's thinking about it too much.
Thinking about what? Don't you just get out of the pocket and throw the ball?
Does the coordinator not give him many options to be able to read? I'm not too sure, but he's clearly a guy that's not playing with much confidence. You're going up against a very good defense this week. It's not going to get much better. So I think you're going to see Taylor in at some point.
Now, the Patriots haven't allowed a running back to go over 50 rushing yards all year. Breece Hall's line on PointsBet, 60.5.
Well, I think that continue. I just think that they're too good there. They're so strong in that area. They've come up against some pretty solid running backs as well, and they've been able to get the job done. They just force the quarterback to be able to throw the ball, and it just makes their defense a hell of a lot easier, and it's working for him beautifully. Offense is complementing him extraordinarily well, and I think that continues. Drake May's right up there for MVP conversation. I think it's just set up for him beautifully to do what he needs to do.
Man, you've cooked up a special ahead of time here. It's called the May Day in New England. We've got $6. You won't find this market anywhere. It's Drake May for 250 passing yards and 2 passing touchdowns, which you loved.
Yep, absolutely.
And I read a stat today, well, not a stat, it was news, that their main man is out at running back. That means Henderson gets another go. Stevenson out. Henderson last week 150 on the ground against the Bucs, who were pretty good on the defense there normally. So I've got the 100 scrimmage yards in case he catches a screen pass, $6. You will only find that on the Oz American Aces Hub on the PointsBet app. That is our Thursday night football special with a few others as well. We'll cook a few up once we get a little bit more time this afternoon before the big game tomorrow. Right, let's fly through the week because that game I would not normally talk about, Sip, if it wasn't on prime time. Right. Here we go. Commanders, Dolphins in Spain.
Yeah, in Madrid game. So a brand new one here. We spoke about it a bit earlier, and the Dolphins have lifted a little bit on their defense. I find it a bit funny. I feel like looking at the stats last week, Tua has 170 yards passing, still throws 2 picks. So it's like you look at it and go, well, he didn't actually play that well. Was it just the Bills just played awful football? And you know they got good field position out of it and put themselves up in good spots. And I just think they should be the favourites. Commanders are in complete trouble. Dan Quinn is taking over as play caller for now their defense. So I'll be interested to see how that goes.
But I reckon that'll go well.
I think it'll go well. You know his history. He had a great track record at the Cowboys when he was defensive coordinator. That's why he got the job at Washington. So I think you'll see a little bit of a change. But in the end, I just think that A-Chain is just going to have an absolute field day here. He had a massive week last week. He is their offense. He finds a way. He is super quick, and it's set up beautifully for him to have a real impact on this game.
Probably haven't spoken about A-Chain enough. He is a special talent. Yep. I mean, he annoys me when I'm going against them because I'm like, they've only got 2 tricks. It's A-Chain and Waddle. Yep. And normally you can take the secondaries a bit easier because you can see them come out of their route and you can double team them. But A-Chain, for some reason, he's real patient. Yep. You watch him, he's real patient, and then he just explodes with his speed. He's a serious talent. And without him, that offense would be so cooked because they do a lot of lateral stuff, and he's the reason he moves the defense because that they don't know what he's going to do, and that's when they get the ball at the back. I just feel like that offense, I don't know, Mike McDaniel might have just had a little bit of a stress relief with that GM and the president going and saying that we're not going to make any moves to the coach till the end of the year. Mm-hmm. So maybe they've just gone, let's just breathe and let's just play. They've played pretty high level. I think Waddle's having a sneaky good year and hasn't been spoken about enough.
He is. Without
Tyreek Hill, he's just the main man. I think he gets another good matchup here. You got to think Deebo Samuel will get involved a little bit more. Got a tutty last week, but he's a wide receiver 1. This game to me, being in Spain, I just don't know how, I don't know how to predict this one because the Washington Commanders, no quarterback. Yep. Well, they've got a backup, but, Mariota, you can't really trust him. Defense is banged up everywhere. And then you go the Dolphins. And I can't trust Tua.
Their inconsistency is just.
But if you go by what they had last week, you got A-Chain who can play the Gibbs role. You got Waddle who can play.
Well, he can play Williams or he can play St. Brown.
He can play all kind of positions at wide receiver. Yeah. So they would have some good tape to put up some points. This could be a good game to watch.
I hope there's some scoring involved with this, to be honest. You can see it's kind of set up that way. But
I just don't think I can trust them.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, the Commanders lost 5 on the trot now and they don't look like things are going to get any easier. So Cliff Kingsbury's just had a tough time trying to get that offense going. When you got a couple of guys out, it makes it real tough. So I'm going to sneak towards the Dolphins, I think.
Another one of those ones where international stay away from the result. I'm just going to look at Waddle, A-Chain, Debo, and Mariota will probably use his legs. All right, let's go to a really important game, especially for me. Panthers at Falcons.
Jeez.
I think Falcons have lost 4 in a row. And they've lost in tight games. They should have beat the Pats. They should have potentially won last week.
Yeah.
Penix Jr. in the clutch wasn't very good. And
the Panthers gave these guys a beatdown last time they played each other too. Let's not forget that.
So this is one of my more locks of the week. You want to have a $1.53 lock. Atlanta can't lose this game.
They can't. They actually can't afford to.
Robinson, this is the day. You have a day. Like, this has to be the day. You're at home. You're probably fresh because they hardly used you. Drake London, he's a machine. Pitts dropped a soda last week. Mooney has not got going. There's a couple of balls deep, but he hasn't caught onto them.
Non-existent.
Yeah, they just have to get going. Dowdle's a big threat, but their defense is normally really good. But last week, what they allowed to Jonathan Taylor, I mean, the 80-yard run at the end, which is bizarre, but even that, you take that away, Sue has 120, 30, and 2. So, look, Dowdle gets a good matchup, but I just think Atlanta get the job done here. And I reckon Bijan and them, they can get to a lead. These games traditionally are tight because they're, division games, but this is massive. Because Panthers 5-5, Atlanta, Falcons 3-6. You get back to one game behind, I reckon they can get over them. And this, for me, season on the line for Falcons.
It is. I agree. And for me, the one person they need to get to is Kyle Pitts. Last week, the Saints, Juwan Johnson, had an absolute field day against that secondary. Look at that film. Watch that film closely and get one of the best tight ends, or should be one of the best tight ends in the competition in Kyle Pitts, and just give him the ball. Juwan Johnson was a monster last week for them and played a huge part. Scored a touchdown, 70-odd yards. That's Kyle Pitts right there. You've got a better quarterback. You have more weapons around you, so it should open up for you. I just think that Kyle Pitts needs to get involved in this game and needs to have a big impact. And you're right, Atlanta have no choice. They have to win this game.
And just on Rico Dowdle, held out Wednesday from training with the quad. Just monitor that one. Should be fine. But you're right. Let's just go over the stats last week for anyone else out there that wants to know what Sip's talking about. Juwan Johnson went for 92 receiving yards a tutty. He had a 52-yard reception, 4 from 4 on his targets. And then Olave, he got a 62-yard bomb as well. He went for 104 and a tud. And the other thing that's really promising for Bijan Robinson is Kamara. He had 83 rushing yards. He hasn't got going all year. So this has got everything for you. You can throw it to anyone. You can run the ball. I just think Atlanta can absolutely open them up.
Yep. And they should. They really should. This is a game that they need to get a little bit of revenge on, and they need to stay in the division because right now it's been disappointing.
Love it. Let's move on. Bucks Bills. This is a huge game. Both teams 6-3. If Bucks lose, then it opens up the gate because I want you to understand who the Bucks I think the Bucks last 3 games they play. I think the Panthers and the Falcons. I'm going to get it up while you predict who wins, but I just want you to know if the Bucks drop this one, this opens up that whole division in the South, and it's going to be a fun ride home for us.
It will be a fun ride home. And you look at the other end, the Bills also need to get the job done here as well, because if they drop to 6-4 and the AFC is that tight right now, they could arguably put themselves out of playoff contention right now. So they're already struggling to be able to be the number 1 team. Everyone thought they'd be the number 1 team in their division, absolute cruise control. The Patriots have been unbelievable, and now you find the Bills. If they go to 6-4, as I said, they are in the race for arguably missing out on a playoff spot. So this is a very, very important game for both teams.
Listen to this run home for the Bucks. So week 15, Atlanta, and then they have week 16, Carolina on the road. Then they play Miami on the road, but then they play Carolina. So they have 3 games in that division out of the last 4, and I can guarantee you she'll be all going in the last week. So that this game for me is like, you don't have to worry about that. But if they lose this and Atlanta win, it's all it's all within a game or two, and they're all going to come down to those last 2. So it's going to be fascinating in the South. Who do you think is going to win this? Bills are favoured heavily.
Bills at home, you'd have to go with. I just think they bounced back after last week's performance. I haven't seen Josh Allen ever play 2 bad games in a row. The secondary we know from the Bucks is susceptible, so I think he gets it back on his terms. He has another pretty big game, and he lets everybody know again that he's still a pretty good quarterback in this competition. So I think Kincaid's an interesting one. I think he is going to be out. I think he hurt himself.
Hamstring is as bad as
that was bad. But I look for Shakir as part of their offense there, and he's going to be the main guy. But Josh Allen will bounce back, and I think the Bills get it done.
I've got a sneaky for you this week, Coleman. I think Coleman is a good receiver. He hasn't done a lot this year, but the targets are there. I've seen a couple plays. He hasn't been able to catch them. But this is the perfect matchup. He plays the Bucks every week. I tell you, like whoever plays wide receiver or quarterback, because you get the air yards against this team, you just get on him. And Coleman is the only real outside, for me at the moment. Anyway, like you got Shakir who runs the slot, you got Kincaid who's now out. Cook doesn't get the greatest matchups, even though last week Henderson opened him up on a big run
again.
But Cook doesn't get the best matchup on paper. He might get used in the passing game, but he'll have a nice day, but nothing. It shouldn't be a massive one. It should be on Josh's arm, and Coleman is a guy that they've wanted to get going. He's their first, he's their major pick last year, probably not last year, 2 years ago in the draft, and he just hasn't been able to get going. And this is a game where I feel like you can do it. Like Drake May just showed you with a couple. There's a couple of plays that he made last week. One was to a rookie wide receiver, but there's a big play here for Coleman. So just write that down, Morgs. I reckon there's an explosive play for Coleman, and a special on the Osmerican Aces hub for me.
Love it.
I think the Bills bounce back just.
Yeah. This is a great game. This is a cracking game.
Just because they're at home.
Yeah, cracking game. Love it.
All right, Texans-Titans. This one's in Nashville. What a spot. Titans off the bye, I'm pretty sure. Houston's win last week. You got to think the confidence levels are huge. Nico Collins was enormous. I don't think you're going to be slowing down the Texans. I think they'll start strong. If their review had anything, it'd be the start. They'd be proud of their finish. They'd be feeling their quarterback going, CJ, you can sit on the sidelines for a bit longer. That offense got going. And I just really like the Texans. This one is they'll get it done with ease.
Yeah, I just think the Texans are honestly going to have multiple turnovers in this game. Cam Ward's obviously new. It's been a tough year for him. I don't think it gets any easier. He's coming up against arguably the best defense in the competition. That ball will be turned over and you'll put the Texans in great spot. And Nico Collins is the man. He's got a great matchup, and get him the ball because what he can do is special. And we saw that last week, and I'm hoping that continues.
Your man Schultze, very nice. Yeah, did you get him for a tutty?
I did not have him for a tutty, unfortunately, but I had him for his his receiving. So I was very happy with that. He's he's in the last month or so they've picked it up. So he's been a pretty important part to him. And I actually think it's opened up for Nico purely because they're using their tight end a little bit more. So I think that continues.
One of the games, we'll keep moving because that's one, so I don't have much for you on the Titans side of things. But one thing that I really like is this game. You got the Bears 6-3 playing at the Vikings, who are 4-5 now. Defense playing at a high level. Offense not really going, but going well enough. And the Bears allow you to put points on the board. But Caleb Williams playing at a high level, like a really high level. And if I actually watch some tape, our man that breaks it all down, and some of the plays he's making to escape, like that D-line from the Giants, there's a lot of weapons there, and he was just spinning out of trouble, making plays, extending plays, using his legs. The confidence would be sky high. He comes up against a defense where I reckon, they know well because the head coach played them a fair bit last year and the year before that and the year before that. So, yeah, Benny Johnson, I reckon he's got him well prepared. And the Bears at 2:30. Look, if you're a Bears fan, you'd have a play because I reckon they're playing at a high level, and the Vikings with the young rookie quarterback, it's going to come down for me who can score the most points.
I'm going to go with the Vikings. I think the Bears have got away with a couple of things against teams that maybe aren't as strong and don't know how to win games of football. Week 1, Minnesota did get it done against the Bears at Soldier Field. And I think that happens again for the Vikings at home. I think that they get Jefferson going. He's got a great matchup. That secondary, does get beaten a little bit. And I think just start peppering him, to start taking it on. He's a special talent. We know what he can do. Anytime he is in a one-on-one option, just give him the freaking ball because he's got a great matchup for it. And I think the Vikings get it done here. And I think the Bears just eat a little bit of humble pie. They're going all right, but I think they eat a little bit of humble pie.
DJ Moore is killing me.
I'm done. I'm not speaking about that man ever again. I'm done.
0 fantasy points last week.
I'm not talking about that man. We got on the train early and it has fallen off the rails completely, and we're done with that.
Your man Adunze,
he has been lining it up. He had a quiet one the week before, but I had a very strong feeling he was going to bounce back. And he's a special talent. But I think the Vikings here, I like him at home.
I would stay away from the result.
Yep.
I just hope that Jefferson can get going and this becomes a high-scoring affair. That Vikings defense is so hard to read. 1 week, it's like they smother you. The next week, they allow 28 plus. Yep. I can't work them out, but Lamar Jackson is special. Mm-hmm. You look at who they threw the ball to. It was a tight end, Mark Andrews, last week. I mean, they were really good in the red zone. I was frustrated. I needed Lamar for 2 passing tutties, and they kept kicking field goals because they were trailing. It was just like field goal. And then they finally got the tud, which opened up the game off. I think special teams got the fumble. Yep. So, Loveland maybe. A little target there in the red zone. Who knows? But the Bears' run game, it's all off their run game. And the Vikings traditionally pretty good against the run. So, I'm looking forward to seeing Caleb Williams under some serious pressure. Yep. And when you have pressure, it means you got something at the back. And if DJ Moore is healthy, he's always questionable on his sleeper app. But him and Adunze should get some looks down the field. And, there's a coach that knows this. As I said, he's played him a lot. So I'm looking forward to it. But Justin Jefferson and Addison, I mean, can we get them going?
Yeah, I know.
They're too good not to be getting peppered and making plays. They haven't had a highlight reel for a long time, Sip.
I agree.
Righto, let's keep moving. I'm gonna tip the Vikings as well at home. Just Packers at Giants.
Well, I mean, this is interesting. Packers lost 2 in a row. They need to get going. Their offense needs to get going. You're coming up against a team that does give up a fair bit. We speak about their D-line and how solid they've been or the type of guys that they have on the D-line that should be getting it done, but they're giving up 150 on the ground. And Josh Jacobs is the man. I just think this should be a bloodbath. They're plain and simple. Yeah. I just think the Packers need to make a statement on the offensive side of the ball. It'll be interesting with the new head coach today, or somehow there's always a victory that comes after the head coach being fired. I just find it bizarre, but I think Dart's not going to be too healthy. The Packers defense is still elite. And they will just go hunting against a Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston is just going to be doing all he can, but I think it's just going to be a tough day to watch. You'll see 2 picks plus. There's no doubt in my mind. I'm that confident of that. And the Green Bay Packers should absolutely rout the New York Football Giants.
I can't work out this line. So the line on PointsBet 6.5. Oh, now they just don't allow you to score. Like if you look at their last 3 weeks, they haven't allowed teams to score. And we're talking high-powered, like last week, Philly are a pretty high-powered offense. They kept them to, 10 points?
Kept them 10 points, yeah.
And
that was all basically the last quarter.
I'm just trying to work out where did the Giants go with the ball.
Yeah,
I mean, I think Slayton was running around. He's always banged up. They don't have any real weapons. Jameis has got to go in there. And if they go down, let me remind everyone, the Giants are the worst run D in the league.
Yep.
Josh Jacobs and their head coach, who's their play caller, he's only got 1 play call, inside zone run. He's going to run the ball down the gut all day. And I think play action with what the guy that I like's Watson. I felt like he was, I mean, Jordan, did you see that pass Love late? He just didn't If he just throws it a little bit more to the left, it would have been probably a tud. It would have been definitely would have been overtime.
Yeah.
That was frustrating. But he actually looks really good. And remember they signed him for a 1 year, $12 million. I was like, that's a lot of money off a serious long-term injury.
He's a talent. He's a talent.
So Dobbs come out with a chest.
Yeah.
Your man Golden
didn't even play.
Didn't play. Yeah. Now I hope he does play because he might get his first tud and we'll tick him off the 0 touchdown list. I just think this is going to be an absolute smacking. If you're a Giants fan, this is scary. I hope Jameis.
You'll see him score. Or you'll see him have, I reckon, a solid first drive because he hasn't played and just the way it normally works. Defense need to figure it out what they're trying to do. Once they figure it out, I think it could be very, very ugly.
I don't think he'll have a good first drive. I think it'll be really ugly, mate.
I'm trying to give him a little bit of hope.
I think Micah Parsons is copping it. They're saying he did nothing last week. The defense is dominating. The offense hasn't done anything. Like this has Packers scoring 30 and the Giants, maybe getting a late tud or two, but they just should cover easily. So 14 plus for me with the Packers.
Yeah.
And Josh Jacobs will go bananas. Seriously. In fact, if you want a little roughie, get on their backup running back. He might run the last one in as well. All right, this one's exciting for me because I hope the Bengals can beat the Steelers. Good news, Joe Burrow back. He might be playing, in 3 or 4 weeks soon, against the Ravens. How good's that for me? All right, this one's at Pittsburgh. Steelers, and I mean the way they playing on offense was making me sick.
Jeez, it was so ugly to watch.
You know what? I don't want to give it. Chargers are going so well. I watched them do the same thing to the Vikings a couple of weeks ago when I was there. Yeah. But the Steelers need to get going, and I mean DK Metcalf. I think he's had a combined total of 40 yards in 3 weeks. It's just ugly.
I don't understand how Rodgers isn't peppering that. The problem is that he's not even peppering him.
Well, they're double teaming him, so he can't really.
But he's a monster. Take the 1v1 as soon as you possibly can. The guy's 6'4". Yeah, the guy's 6'4", and just give him more opportunity to be able to get going. You can't tell me that he's having 2 catches and only getting 4 targets because they're double teaming him all the time.
Move him around.
That's not possible. Just give him a chance to just make a play. If you throw a pick, so what? That's what I think anyway. You're just not giving him a chance to even be part of the game. So automatically just taking one part of it, which is a massive part of your offense, out. And what else do you do? So it's a tough one. But again, you're probably going to be leaning on Warren, aren't you? Because the Bengals can't really stop anything on the ground right now too. So you're going to be looking at Warren this whole time. And geez, what a game it was last time. If we could get that again, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Oh, you know what? I feel like the Aces hub hasn't cleaned up since. It was a proper fill-up. It was a fill-up. It was the start of my trip.
Oh, it was. It was a fill-up.
The confidence went through the roof.
We were doing our holiday and we started it off on the right way.
Do we just go back to the same bets?
We might have to go back and look at it again and see what happens.
He was Jamar Chase, Higgins.
Geez. Well, you know Flacco's just going to be looking for his 2 wide receivers. That's all there is to it, and he has to. Steelers are going to be okay in the run game. They have been quite susceptible in the passing game, and you're coming up against 2 of the best. So let it fly, baby.
There's 3 guarantees in life, Sid. You know what the 3 are? There's death, there's taxes, and Flacco smacking the Steelers. That are your 3. And I reckon there could be another upset this week. I reckon Flacco could just air this ball out. Jamar Chase gets an amazing matchup. Lad McConkey in the slot last week dominated. They've got going a little bit, but the concern is the defense for the Bengals. But if the offense wants to play like they did last week, I mean, Austin, he's catching them like me. I think he had a little flour bag in the chest. It ricocheted up into the air, and it's another pick. I thought Aaron Rodgers ain't throwing you the ball for the rest of the year. This will be fun. I honestly think when you look at this over under 48.5. I mean, pending weather, it looks pretty good at the moment. Yeah. This could be a blowout. This could blow that total out. If we can get on the front foot here and the Bengals can score early, then Aaron Rodgers, I think he can keep up with them, and this could go up and down again. Yep. So this will be really fun. I'll be cheering on the Bengals. Look, I probably have to tip the Pittsburgh Steelers on my tipping app, but I just think the one thing I like is Chase. I feel like Chase is going to be fed, and you can't really stop him. I see Ramsey's now. Remember last time
he's playing the free safety.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Remember last time they put him on and he just embarrassed him.
Now I know.
And I don't think
put him in the free safety to just try and save him a little bit. Yeah.
If you're going up against Chase and you're a Steeler corner and you're watching him, remember last time they honestly just peppered him and they had no answers. He was just embarrassing.
It was 16 catches. 160 yards. It was absurd.
Yeah. So I'm.
Let's go again. Let's go 10 plus.
Well, mate, his line's 95.5. I just think he goes for 100 easily there. And yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. Yep. We'll move on because there's some great, you know what? It finishes like the games coming up are crackers. We've spent a bit of time on these other games. We probably shouldn't have. Here we go.
We'll
Chargers,
go through this one pretty quickly. I reckon.
Chargers at Jags. Well, it's going to be closer than you think. You always come back with something, but
I just like honestly Chargers. Like it's a big one here for Herbert, and I'm looking at Lad McConkey and I'm looking at Quentin Johnson as a deep threat. That's all I'm looking at. Lad's got back to his best form. He's had a huge month. He will be everywhere. I don't think Jacksonville can stop him. And Quentin Johnson as a deep threat is going to be dangerous. And I just think it's set up beautifully for them to be able to get it done.
Well said. I think Jacoby Myers gets you know what I said, his manager stitched him up. I take that back. I think his manager's found him a perfect spot. I didn't know Travis Hunter was going to be out for the rest of the year. That must have been, that
little bit
must
inside knowledge.
Yeah, that must have been passed on to the manager, and that's why he's gone there. And he now gets a great, opportunity to finish off the year at a team that, is in the hunt at 5-4. So I think Myers will get a good look here because they should play from behind. And look, Vidal and that O-line got it done last week. I couldn't believe it. His line was 43.5. I think he went for about 90. So
Jacksonville are good in the run though. They're only giving up 85 on the ground.
But when Chargers play their way, they run the ball and then they get that, get
a bit of play action.
They get the pass game going off the back of it, but they run first. And so if you can upset that, it'd be great to see. Keenan Allen looks like they're not using him as much. I think you're right. Johnson for me here is the guy at the back and Nico Collins type role.
Yep.
And your man at Gadsden, he kind of banged his neck.
I think he's going to be in a little bit of trouble,
he's
but
okay.
he's going to be all right. Well,
It's
a good matchup for him too. They give up a bit in the tight end position, so if he can get going, that'd be big for him.
I think Herbert will have to air this out. I don't think the run game will get going like it did last week. This will be closer than you think. All right, Seattle. Here we go. This is the biggest game. You talked about a heavyweight belt last week, and we got the worst game of all time. Maybe if you like defense, it was great, but no one really loves watching that on TV. We get the Seattle Seahawks going on the road to Inglewood, SoFi Stadium, to play the Los Angeles Rams, and the Seattle Seahawks are undefeated on the road. Stafford hasn't thrown a pick for 4 weeks. He's thrown about 5 weeks. I think he's thrown 20 touchdowns. And if you want to see
25 to be exact.
Yeah, but 20 in the last 4 or 5
6 weeks. It's nuts.
And if you want to see a team play defense and do it all kinds of ways, the Seattle Seahawks are unstoppable at the moment. What they did last week in the first quarter allowed them to pretty much just stop playing. Darnold, I think he had 2 turnovers in the second half, but it didn't really matter. No. They were up by 30 plus before the quarter break. And then the Rams, the only concern I've got here is Devontae Adams back. The old man, he limped off, and that was a bit of a concern. But look, if you're going to go, this is another opportunity for me and you to have something on the line because I don't know where you're going, but I just went to Seattle and I bought the Jackson Smith-Najigba jersey, and I can't go against my boys in the second team. And I'm on the Seahawks bandwagon. I'd love to see a Ravens-Seahawks Super Bowl.
Jeez.
I just think the Seattle Seahawks are just building something special, and if they get the job done here, the whole league's on notice. They're already on notice, but this is like, you talk about the odds for Super Bowl. Morgs, if you can get them up for me, I want to have a look at what they look like now and what they look like next week if they win. You go.
Oh, yeah, it's a great call. I am going to go with the Rams. I think that Seahawks defense is unreal, but they're going to get tested. This is going to be a real test for them. They've got weapons everywhere. I love the matchup. Puka for the Rams, JSN for the Seahawks. Like basically 2 of the same player that are playing outstanding football at the moment. I can't wait to see what those 2 guys can do. I am going to lean towards the Rams though. I just think that the firepower is a little bit different compared to what the Seahawks have had to handle so far this year. They've got multiple weapons. Williams on the ground. Adams will be all right. I think he stays healthy and he'll be all right to go. But if you can stop Puka, then all good. But this is a big one. If the Seahawks get it done, then I'm glad for them to be right up there. They've been unbelievable, but I just think the Rams at home. I like the Rams at home. I just think what Stafford's been doing, it's exciting. I'm pumped by it.
I feel like the Rams allow you to score more points than the Seattle Seahawks allow you to score. And that's why I'm going with Seattle.
All right. I love it. I'm going with the Rams.
Darnold needs to lift, though. You can't be playing like he did in the last half last week. Can you imagine you needed JSN for 100 yards?
Yeah.
He had 84 and a tud at the quarter-time break
Seriously.
and didn't get another tud.
Nothing, nowhere near it afterwards. Yeah, I'm glad I did it the week before.
Righto, let's look at the Super Bowl champion odds here on PointsBet. They currently have Seattle Seahawks. They have them 6th in the market at $10. And they have the Rams at 9. It's wide open.
Oh.
How are the Chiefs are favourites?
Yeah.
Can I go out and say,
I don't understand.
Is there a market I can get? I'm going to talk to the traders that the Chiefs cannot win the Super Bowl and they won't make the Super Bowl because the
you
fact
might have
that
to. That's good.
How are they 650? I
don't know. I actually have no idea. They're still not even in the playoff situation, I think, just yet. But it's everyone is banking on them to find something very, very quickly.
They've already found it. They're going to miss.
It'll be interesting.
I'd love to see.
What a game, though. That's going to be a great one. This is arguably the best game of the week, and this is going to be unbelievable.
Wouldn't it be nice to see Walker score this week?
Oh.
For me, it's like
the hallelujah will be getting
all these things might happen the week after.
Seriously.
I want to stay here though. Like if Rams are going to win, it has to come down to that defense.
Yeah, for sure.
And it has to be the way they can get to Darnold.
I think they're more than capable of being able to do it. I think they can. I think they've got enough guys on the D line to cause enough pressure. And I think they're more than capable of being able to do that.
Mac Jones did throw 303 passing TDs last week, so that's not the best. I'm going into that game and
having to play from behind though. They were down 21-0 pretty early in that game, so Mac had to be able to get that going for him to allow them to have a chance to be able to stay in that game. Yep, and he did it, no doubt. But passing definitely lifted for him because of how quickly they were down. They had to stop running the ball. Can't score from being able to not, when you're 21-0 down, and think that you're going to be able to continue running the ball the whole time. So I think it's going to be closer. So I think they're going to allow more opportunity to be able to get after the quarterback. And I just think the Rams will be able to do it.
I'm looking forward to this one.
Ripper.
Sip v train. Oh yeah, let's put it out there. Who wins this one? We'll get it up because it's not. It should be Sunday Night Football. I mean, now we're going to get to Lions Eagles, but Eagles after last week should be canned, and it should be Seattle versus the LA Rams. All right, this is a big game. The 49ers on the road. They play the Cardinals, but no Harrison Jr.
Yeah, I've got one thing to say here. To be honest,
McBride.
We spoke about it. I love McBride, but I spoke about last week how Cardinals defense had low-key been pretty good and they got exposed badly last week. One person that is going to be looking at that like there is no tomorrow is Kyle Shanahan, one of the best offensive minds in the NFL. He will be looking at that, picking out every part of that defense. And when you've got Christian McCaffrey, I know they're a little depleted and things like that in other parts of the game, but Jennings has been on fire. CMC will bounce back. It's a bad week, I think, for the Cardinals to have a poor week on defense because you go up against the best offensive mind in the league, and it could be another tough one, I think, for the Cardinals.
Yeah, well said. I think Kittle gets to work, and I like the 49ers here on offense. So I think the Cardinals, they fought it out. There was a lot of things that went wrong, and it wasn't because of the defense. Like the Seattle Seahawks, 2 defensive touchdowns in a row from the same man that was traded from the Dallas Cowboys, by the way, added him to the list.
Yep.
But that put him on the back burner. Yep. You know what I mean? So I understand what you're saying, but Cardinals never really got a chance because they turned it over. Now, we go back to the beef brisket here, and what's he going to do? I just think he's going to have to find something out of Wilson and maybe another wide receiver there in Dortch or something, because you can't just think, the defense, they're lacking a bit, but McBride's going to get a lot of attention. He should get a lot of targets here. The whole offense is going to go through him.
Yeah.
But for me, this one here is going to come down to who can score 30, because I reckon the 49ers are going to put up points.
Yeah.
The defense is just struggling. They've got players out everywhere. But now that Harrison's out, it's like, that hurts. Mm-hmm. That hurts big time, because that would have become a really, for me, flip of the coin.
No doubt.
I'm leaning San Fran just purely because of offense.
Yeah.
I think Kittle is I think Kittle's ready to explode. Yep. His touchdown last week late was so impressive, and I think they might use him in the in the passing game a fair bit and open them up. All right. Ravens, Browns.
This one I reckon is pretty.
So let's just skip over it really. Like the main thing for me is, can we get Flowers in the end zone? He's had one tutty. The Browns are pretty good against the run as well. So let's start there. But if you want to go back to the start of the year, I'm positive we just absolutely
You gave him a belting 41-17, I think. It was pretty easily done. I think the same continues. Zay Flowers' targets have lifted since Lamar's been back, which is good. And I think he gets another good look at it, and they'll be too good in the end. I think that's relatively comfortable for the Ravens.
Lamar's arm is the one I'm looking forward to. So passing yards, I like him here. I like him to throw a few tuds. They would be disappointed with their red zone last week, getting down there and not finishing as an offense. Yeah. So I reckon you got to look for them to want to get that right. So I think Lamar can throw three passing tutties here, and these games traditionally are tighter than you think, but they just don't have when there's a rookie quarterback. They can't compete, can they? Gabriel, you know what, man? Like, I've seen enough of him now to go, at what point do you give Sanders a go at the end of the year? Because he's just not, I don't know about you, but there's just nothing exciting.
Yeah. Nothing. There's nothing special about their offense or anything like that right now. And just, I don't, what have you got to lose, to be honest, in the end?
That's what I mean. Like, can you get Judy going to Joe? Like, it's just nothing exciting. Like, there hasn't been one game where you go, oh, wow, you got a 250 passing yards, 2 tutties behind you. There just hasn't been enough there for me. Yep. If I'm a Browns fan, it's just ugly. You just go, where are we going to get this quarterback from? Flacco would have been nice.
Yeah.
Ravens easily, mate. And I just think Lamar loves throwing the ball. So if you've got Derrick Henry, and I just think he might get to the goal line and go, no, I'm going to throw it to Likely. So he'll throw it to Andrews. He'll throw it to the tight end. They just love throwing the ball when they're down there. So it's good to see. All right, 2 big games. In fact, we've got 3 still to come. Chiefs at Denver Broncos. We know, I wonder where Mims is at. I haven't looked at the injury report, but Dobbins under the pump. Chiefs run D good. So this is going to lean on Bo Nix's arm. Chiefs defense pretty good. I don't know, man. I feel like Chiefs can get this done. I feel like the Broncos have been playing very average and they're ready to be beaten.
I think I'm going to go for the Chiefs on this one. I think they're dangerous off the bye. I think there's a few extra plays that gets involved off the bye. Denver only just get over the line last week to a pretty horrible Raiders outfit, 10-7. And on paper, based on stats, the Raiders haven't been good all year, and you've left them a chance to be able to get involved.
And Raiders scored 2 tuds, but they got called back because of flags.
That's right.
And I think there was a big deep ball to Thornton.
Yep.
And it was a really nice pass that Gino put on a platter.
Yep.
And he dropped it. So they actually, I reckon the Broncos, they were very lucky last week.
Very, very lucky.
Dobbins with a sore foot. Yeah. I think Chiefs can get them out.
I think it's a great opportunity for the Chiefs to, really kind of settle down a little bit, bring that division a little bit closer. Obviously Pat Surtain as well, which means, geez, Worthy and Rashee Rice should be licking their lips right now, and the same with Patrick Mahomes. So can the O-line do their job and protect him? I think they can. Mahomes has been using his legs a little bit more, which has been good to see. So he's seeing a bit of danger and getting out of the pocket and doing what he needs to do. But if the Broncos put up any performance like they did last week, they're going to be in for a rough afternoon.
It's always an ugly game these days when you're watching the Broncos. Just their defense, it is so good. But Mahomes can handle it. Yeah. No, I like the Chiefs a lot. I think they're going to bring a lot of pressure, so that means that he's going to be able to. Worthy's the one. I think I've been saying it for a while, but Rice is the wide receiver one. They've got a pretty strong defense. They can move a few corners around, but I don't know how you're going to stop Worthy. Yeah. Looking forward to seeing that one. Sutton doesn't have a great matchup, but we've seen him make plays. Just don't know where. I mean, Evan Ingram, he's been so disappointing for me. I've got him in fantasy, but he had a great matchup last week. There's a lot of drops. It's just, I don't know. There's just not a lot going through him.
They need to change a few things to get themselves going.
They do, and this week they'll need to. The Chiefs for me. Righto, 2 games to go, but this is probably the more exciting one. The Lions offense juggernaut against the Eagles, and AJ Brown, an angry AJ Brown, and just a poorly ran offense in Eagles, but the defense stacked. What are we going to get here, Sip? It's going to be in Philly. I would love to see Dan Campbell bite their kneecaps off. I don't know. You're a Philly man. I think I speak on behalf of every other person that doesn't go for Philly and they just can't stand them because of the way they carry on. And you run the game and the clock out and it's just, and Jalen Hurts, he's got no emotion on his face and he doesn't smile and AJ Brown gets no targets. I mean, it's just getting so frustrating as a fantasy football NFL fan.
AJ Brown has timed this to absolute perfection. He has put the word out that he's not happy. Don't worry about him in fantasy. And the man's just going to explode because he's got a secondary that he's going to be up against this week that's going to allow him to do so. Jalen will throw the ball. AJ Brown is going to be open. Devontae Smith will be open. This is going to be a high-scoring game, and I can't wait. It's as simple as that.
Finally.
I really do. I really do expect that. I think the juggernaut that the Lions have in their offense is going to be hard to beat. Any defense is going to be challenged with it, but AJ has put everybody on notice and he's timed it to absolute perfection. He's going to get the ball. You'll get 2 touchdowns and get 100 plus. It's going to be an absolute field day because we know the secondary is quite susceptible for the Detroit Lions. The O-line will do their D-line will do what they can, but O-line's very, very strong for the Eagles. But that passing game is going to be electric. You saw what he did against the Minnesota Vikings a few weeks ago. 280, 3 tutties in the air. You're going to see something very, very similar, and I'm excited by it.
Well, let's hope because AJ Brown disagrees. When he was playing Madden last night, mate, you'd be pretty stiff to get quoted when you're playing Madden online.
No, you are.
His quotes were, if you've got me on fantasy, get rid of me. Family's good, everything else, no. It's a shit show. And then he said, I think he must have scored with himself. He goes, that's the only highlights of damn football I've been living right now after playing as himself in Madden.
He's a smart man. He's a calculated and smart man. It just means one thing, that you're going to see him explode this weekend. That's what's going to happen.
I'll tell you who will explode. I think Amon-Ra will be required. If they are to play from behind, he'll just get a lot of receptions. I like him. I think he'll get a lot more targets.
Yep.
J-Mo had his week last week. Dan Campbell with the play calling. I mean, at least you know they're going to be going for it. So
100%.
This should be high scoring.
100%.
And I'd love to see the Lions go out and lead because then the Eagles can play the way that we want them to play, which is throwing the ball and exciting. And that's the Eagles we love. I love the Eagles when they're playing aggressive. But that game against the Packers, mate, it was like, they ended up walking away with the belt, but it was like they were too scared to score. And the fact that no one scored meant, we'll just lean on our defense and our special teams. And it was just hard to watch where when they started to throw the ball, it was like, well, it's not that hard to score. And if you score and you go up, you will win the game. So that's why I get frustrated as a fan going,
no doubt.
Why not just throw the ball instead of leaning on the run so early in the game?
Agree.
Anyway, we keep moving. I'm going to tip. You know what? I think the Eagles will win, but I'm going to be going for the Lions. I'd love to see the Lions win this one. This is massive. That would take the Lions to 7-3 and the Eagles 7-3. And then you have the winner of Seattle and the Rams would go to the 1 seed, but it would be on like Donkey Kong. And no doubt they'd have a matchup later in the year. So exciting stuff. All right, we know the Colts and the Saints are on bye. Which is, let's see how Maisie and Hibbo and Fritter and who else they got in there, Clayton Oliver, the boys in our league. Let's see how you go with that Jonathan Taylor in your fantasy, you Pelicans.
Yeah.
See,
God, if they drop 140 on again, though, I'll be like, all right, we're the clear favourites. But
if Jonathan Taylor,
right now, no.
If Jonathan Taylor's resting and you're playing that team in fantasy and they win, well, good luck to you.
Seriously.
All right, we get a high-scoring game to finish because these teams traditionally allow it. Cowboys are visiting Vegas and they're going to play the Raiders. And I reckon this one has a fair bit of points involved.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think both defenses are leaking. Obviously, Raiders did a fairly solid job against the Broncos last week, but previously on paper, they have been leaking a little bit. So I think it is going to be relatively high scoring. And the Dallas Cowboys, they have got the personnel to be able to do it and let it fly. So I'm looking towards Pickens, CD Lamb, and Dak Prescott just to throw that ball everywhere. Why not add Williams in there too in the running game? And guess what? Just put a same-game multi on like I did last week and let them feed. I cannot wait for this one. So I'm going to be all on board the Cowboys train on this one. I think Genty on the other side, the run defense has been pretty poor as well for the Cowboys. So, add Genty in there maybe for 65 as well and a touchdown and That's all you want to see for the game.
I like it. I think this is a fantasy fill-up. You're going to finish off the week. It's going to frustrate a lot of people, but Brock Bowers is back. He looked back. Like, he looks like he's moving really well. We know Myers was traded. Trey Tucker, he has an explosive play in him, but the whole offense goes through Bowers. And I reckon that secondary from the Cowboys allows that. McBride, I think he scored when they played. We saw Harrison when they played the Cardinals a couple of weeks ago. So that might be the Trey Tucker deep ball. And then, you go the other side of the things. And I think Dak and his weapons in Lamb and Pickens, and we know Ferguson's there, but I just think this will be going through the two wide receivers, and this should go up and down. So I honestly think your main guys should score and all play well.
Yep.
And it's gonna be probably the most exciting, Tuesday game for us, Monday Night Football over there, that we've had in a while. The over-under is 50.5. I think it's the largest on the whole week as I quickly scan the app here. Yeah, it's the largest by 2.5 points. So we get a high-scoring, primetime game, which is all we want.
We should.
And hopefully the Lions and Eagles are the same. So, Sip, I'm excited. And I reckon we're going to have some specials, but we'll talk about it. There's a lot of crossovers between the Lions, Eagles, and the Cowboys, Raiders with some players. So we should have that combination bet again. We had the JSN, CD Lamb a couple of weeks ago. Well, maybe we should go back to Amon Ra and CD Lamb here, because it's going to be, this should be fun. It should be a lot of fun.
I like it. I can't wait for this one. It's a great way to, finish off the week. And yeah, let's get that going on that points bet app, because we're gonna hit.
Well, it's going to be a great finish to the week. But I tell you what we had last week. We had the Rixie challenge, and we said, guess the score, Sip.
No
one could guess the score.
There's no way anybody would have got that score. Not in your right mind would you have got that.
You've got to think differently with these competitions. So we're going to go again, and we're going to go to the Cowboys Raiders, because I think it's going to be high scoring. So the Rixies are up for grabs. Now, if you tag your mate in there as well, we're going to give him a pair. So this is what we're going to do. Guess the score, and also tell us who wins, tag your two mates, and you'll go in the chance to win some Rixies, because I enjoy doing these, and I don't like seeing losers. It was actually me and Morgs were going through the comments going, I don't think anyone won. We had one ace that commented the wrong way. Yeah. They said Green Bay 10-7, so that's very stiff. But it's close, but no cigar. Boys, or Rixies.
You won't believe me, but Harrow reckons he thought about doing 10-7 and the Broncos, and he's like,
I know. Fraud.
I know.
He's a fraud. What? He thought about supporting the Aces in the comments. What a disgrace. Hey? Our producer behind the scenes didn't want to get involved.
Wow.
Ask him why he didn't comment.
Yeah, we'll remember that, Harrow.
We love all the support online that everyone gets involved. So we're going to continue to give. And by the way, I've spoken to NFL Australia. I've got a special package coming for us to give away in a couple of weeks.
Very nice.
So we'll start with the Rixies, and then got something that we can upgrade next week. By the way, Rick's Black Friday sale online now, up to 70% off. So if you want a pair of sunnies and you miss out on the comp, go online and grab them, because there's not a lot of time left, and you don't want to miss out there. Sip, that's all I've got. It was a longer show. We didn't have the review show, so we've merged it all together. But this is really exciting. These are some big games coming up.
Yep.
And the biggest one for me is Seahawks, Rams, Chiefs, Broncos, Lions, Eagles. I think they are the biggest games to watch, and probably for me, Bengals, Steelers, because if the Steelers can get beat again, then the Ravens are
back,
absolute lock to win that division,
they're back.
And maybe the Bills, Bucks.
Yeah, there's some cracking games,
and Falcons,
and a lot of them are mean something now. There are some playoff situations on the line right now. If teams don't get it done, they will find themselves out of contention and in some real trouble. So I can't wait for week 11.
Well said. Well, that's all we've got here. The Aces NFL show, powered by PointsBet, Week 11 preview with a little bit of Week 10 recap, all the breaking news and some specials. Make sure you head to the Oz American Aces hub on the PointsBet app for some absolute exclusives. And let's get the right score on the primetime game. Come on, I want to give away a Soho Cherry to somebody and their mates. So make sure you get involved on Instagram. We're seeing a lot of comments on every platform. Me, naturally, would give it to you if you won on YouTube. But come on, just get on Instagram. Don't comment on YouTube this week. The competition's live on Instagram, so don't miss out. We love all your support. Keep getting the comments in there. And let us know who you would start and bench and what is it? Start, bench, cut.
Yeah.
Because I just thought that was stiff. The that start one, bench one, cut one. I mean, Bijan Robinson, Jameer Gibson,
given me much there
Jonathan
to really
Taylor.
work with.
You can't be cutting Bijan Robinson. Gee whiz. All right, that's all I got. See you next week. Cheers.
You got hands like buckets.
The NBA is back. And to celebrate at PointsBet, place a head-to-head bet on the Lakers versus Warriors. And if your team scores the first basket, you win. That's right. Your team scores first, get paid out early. See your account for personalized max stake limit. PointsBet. It's like hot sauce, but for basketball. Yeah, that's built different.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.